cold outreach is becoming overcrowded, which means it's becoming increasingly important to stand out in people's inboxes. We had Instantly, which allowed us to automate our outreach. And then from there, we were able to add AI into our workflows to hyper-personalize our emails, or at least our icebreakers to prospects. But now that's just becoming cringe and overused, and prospects are becoming numb to it. And I've been doing high-ticket outreach for years, and this automation that I've built is the single biggest improvement that I've ever made to my email system. So this is it. It's built on NA10. I'm going to walk you through it start to finish, and I'm even going to give you a couple examples and run through it with you so you can sort of see the power of it. But those who follow me understand that I don't really use AI agents in a lot of my flows. I still think they're quite unreliable. I know they're a buzzword at the moment, but I just think for most of the stuff that I do, linear workflows are actually a lot better. There's some flows I've got AI agents in, and it certainly worked in this one, and I'll explain why. But let's just go from the start and I'll explain sort of what happens. So it actually starts in my second email. My first email is the pattern interrupt. So emails that people don't normally get. I'm not going to go through that in this video. And then the second one, if they haven't replied, is just a pure value builder. Just no selling. It's just, look, I've made this for you. Do you mind if I send it? Hi, Mark. Not sure if you caught my last email, but I spent this morning analyzing how payment consultancies are helping clients navigate emerging tech landscapes. Means nothing to me, but clearly will mean a lot to this person here. So I've created a personalised revenue analysis for Payments Consultancy Limited, showing exactly how much pipeline you're missing without proper AI infrastructure. Can I send the analysis? It's ready now and will take 5 minutes. If they respond positively to that, it will trigger this webhook. I'll check the database, because at the end we'll be adding the lead to the database. We'll also be adding it here if it's an invalid request. We'll check the database to see if we've contacted them before, process that email data through a code node, send it to the email validation agent, which is literally just a OpenAI step to check whether the research or the request for research is valid. They're not just, it's not a fake positive reply from Instantly, because sometimes their sentiment analysis isn't incredible. So we just want to double check just to make sure that this is a valid request for research. Prepare the query. It's basically just doing a little JSON formatting, and then we'll send it to a perplexity step. If it is a valid request, obviously. We'll set it to a perplexity step. And now this is just a Sona model, and it's literally just researching the company and the contact and the title and just finding real-time information about them. Just really brief. I'm asking it to give me like 70 words, I think, or 100 words max. Really brief description of the company. That'll also feed to the AI agent and do a deep research step. So it's got even more context to find the right person, because the worst case scenario could be here is that I give them, I give the AI agent the wrong details. So I just make sure that the details are correct through a really cheap Sona model, and then I give that to an AI agent to do the research. Now, this is deep research, so I've asked it to pretty much create a comprehensive research analysis. Now, the reason I've used an AI agent, I was thinking of using an AI agent tool with an overseer here, just so it could sort of take in the token hit. Because before, what I was doing, I did try to make this a linear flow, and it would be the perplexity Sona model, then a deep research model, and then I'd give it to this HTML document generator. I'll get onto that in a moment, but that was always going to be an AI agent. Now, the problem was that I was creating so many tokens in the promise specific research bit. I'm just going to backtrack now and explain why it's called promise specific research. It's because it looks at this, how payment consultancies are helping clients navigate emerging tech landscapes. It's looking at that. The reason being is because that's the research I've promised. That's the specific request. So that's what we've got to go and research. It's not just going to research the industry or the company. It's actually researching what I've said I was going to research. So that's why it's called the promise specific research. So that's just an overview of the company. This is researching, yes, the specific research, but also going into a lot more depth about it. Now, I couldn't pass everything to the next AI agent. It was timing out, the context was too large. So I had to figure out a way to sort of summarize it. So I came up with just doing the AI agent way, which basically this is the overseer, which will summarize it, but it will call the promise specific research. That will return massive comprehensive summary, not even a summary, massive comprehensive report on this specific company. The AI agent will read it and pick out the bits I've given it to pick out. So it's like 41 different variables that I've asked it to pick out for different sections of the document, if that makes sense. So it's going to create that basically JSON structure, which the code node is going to, I'll show you all the outputs after, we're going to run it. The code node is then going to just basically prepare it so it's ready to go into here. I could have done it through some syntax, but we're not going to do that. I just thought I'd get Claude to make me some code to create a really nice JSON structure that we pass into the HTML document generator. Now I've given it a template. I asked Claude Opus 4.1 beforehand in the desktop web app the desktop app to create me a template. I told it exactly what I wanted. We went over it a couple of times and it's created a really beautiful template. So essentially what this does is gets the research, gives it to the HTML document generator, which will call the template to understand how I want it, and then it will input what I want it to input essentially. Now we use GPT-4o for this because it doesn't need the most expensive and clever model because I've already given it a template, and that's what makes this a bit cheaper. I didn't want to, imagine if I'm sending 10,000 emails a day, which I have the capacity to do. Well, not right now, but soon I will. At the moment, I can send 6,000 emails a day. Now, out of that, I could get 20 positive replies a day for the second email. If I was using expensive tools this whole time, it would get very expensive, which is why I use the AI agent tool here, is so that 4o Mini takes the real world tokens from Perplexity and condenses it down to pass to the code node to pass into here. So it's a lot less, it's a cheap model. Obviously deep research is going to be a bit more expensive, but it's not bad. I think it's like 18 cents per document or something like that. And then this is going to just call the HTML template. So it knows exactly the template and the type of research or document that it's meant to be. And it will just populate like the title, or just add in all the research to the bits that I want it to be added into. Then we'll basically write the HTML to the VPS, to my virtual private server, meaning I can this basically makes it a HTML doc, and this writes it to my VPS, so then I can just send it to them as a HTML doc. Before, when I was testing this, I had it deployed to Netlify, but Netlify has been known for like some malware attacks. There's some scammers that will create and deploy a site on Netlify and have been scamming people. So when I was doing it with that method, it was I got a few replies saying, can you send it as a HTML doc, because this has been known for malware attacks, etc., etc. So I ended up just going, okay, I'm going to create a HTML doc instead, and this will create the reply to them, basically look at the previous message and just send a reply saying, hey, thanks for getting back to me, here's your HTML doc, I'll follow up within a couple of days just to see what you thought. Get the ID, basically the unique ID of that lead, and then just send it back to them via the Instantly Unibox. So let's run it and I'll show you exactly how it looks. So I'll run it in Postman. We'll send an API request. We'll do a post to this URL and send some body. And let's do this one first, which is one that I've taken from a webhook already. In fact, no, we'll do this one. This is an actual message that came in for it. Okay, now we'll have this listen. And we'll send. Workflow has started. So it's checked the database and noticed that the person is not in the database, processed the email data, realized it is a valid request, prepared the query. It's already done the Sonar model. So that's how quick that is. And now it's just going to be doing the promise specific research. So we'll come back to it once it's done. All right. So it actually failed, the Perplexity did, on the first one because the connection was aborted. And that's the good thing about having an AI agent, is that it went back up here. AI agent thought for a little bit, thought, I haven't got the research. Let me go back down. Let me call the tool again. Called the tool again, and the research, it worked on the second time around. And you can see how you can see how comprehensive this research is. There's a lot of stuff in there that you can put in a research document to personalize for someone. Then it output it exactly how I asked it to, all the key facts that are in there, okay? And then when you look at here, it sort of makes I don't know why I keep saying sort of, it puts it into a nice clean JSON format with everything in there that it can just give to the HTML document generator to create a nice document. Now, it's called the HTML template tool to start with, and now 4.0 is just looking at that template, looking at the research, and just putting it all together to create a really nice document. So once that's done, I'll just click on here, download it, and I'll show you the document that it has created. Right, here we go. It has finished. So remember, this guy's name was Banco Aloy. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, Banco, and if you're watching. It's created the doc, and it's written the file to the HP You can see the file name is called Pepper Techstars 22 Revenue Analysis and the date .html. Download it. You click on it. Processing intelligence, and then it pops up. As you can see, it's got some really cool whatever that is. Unlocking enterprise success strategies for fintech startups. Prepared for him. There's the organization. There's 500 plus data points, and apparently it took me 5 hours. Executive summary with this cool thing at the top, and obviously these are all, look at that, it's just incredible. It's mind blowing. Now, obviously, it's got to look nice, but it's also got to have the actual tangible data points in there that are useful. Essentially, it's got to have some useful information in there. I'm probably not going to read all through this. You can pause and read through it. I'm just going to show you sort of how it looks. But projected growth rate of the African social commerce market through 2028 is 552. So this clearly needs work. What 552? What oranges? Who knows? That was shocking. Sorry. Obviously it needs a percentage there or something. 419. What? 419 what? 419 money bags. It still needs refinement, or I should say perfecting. It's not quite ready. It has taken me a long time to sort of build this automation, to be honest. So many different ways I thought I could do it, and things were going wrong, such as context issues. But it's at a point where I'm actually happy with it. I wouldn't fully send this out yet. It just needs things obviously sorting out like that. The evolution of fintech sales strategies, and just goes through this. It's sort of a pain point, and then it will show them how API integrations can streamline operations and enhance client satisfaction, etc. Building strategic partnerships. Pain point, how we can address this. Pain point, how we can address this. Impact analysis. So monthly manual effort is apparently 120 hours. Now, one thing that also needs work is, because I have asked it to give citation map down here. So it actually does need to include the citations in here. I think that'll be much more trustworthy. But yeah, you can see it's sort of showing an ROI and a weekly amount of time potentially saved. Shows all this, which is sort of like a matrix background. Again, certain things might need tweaking, but at the moment I'm pretty happy with it. First mover advantage, competitor activity, optimal timing. So only 12% of companies have automated infrastructure. Early adopters are capturing 3 times market share. Based on market analysis, company name has a 3 to 6 month window to establish infrastructure dominance before market saturation. Don't know how true that is again. And then give strategic recommendations at the bottom, which I think is pretty cool too. And an implementation timeline. 24-hour implementation timeline. Similar companies, so it says SaaS company and consultancy, that needs changing as well to actual case studies that I've got. And then it's his name. Let's build this. This should take them to my Calendly, which it doesn't. It almost does. But they can just book a call straight away from the document as well, which I think is pretty cool. PS, while you're reading this, 3 competitors are already using infrastructure to dominate your market. Every day you wait is 300 plus missed opportunities. But yeah, and that would just automatically just send to them. I don't need to have to do a thing. It would automatically create it and send to them. And then just to show you, how it differs from person to person, it doesn't really differ all that much. It's all the same, loading page. This will come up. This will come up. Sort of same thing, 5 hours, executive summary, different stats, obviously, because it is personalized, so it is different stats. It just needs the figure or the metric at the end of that, but same structure, you see, but personalized research, but same structure, problem, solution. See, these only had two problems and a solution. Current state with infrastructure and the results. Similar, same sort of thing really. The market window, so how long they have to implement this. You can also see at the top here, when I scroll, how close they are to the end. So it sort of has a progress bar as well at the top. Strategic recommendations and implementation timeline, similar companies. So these are my case studies, which obviously need changing. And then again, the CTAs at the bottom. So that's the latest automation that I've added to my infrastructure. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You can sort of see the power that this is going to potentially have and already has been having, because I just started using it too early, to be honest. But like I say, there's still some refinement to be done to it. But it's been working really well. People are really impressed with it. Yeah, I'm going to be rolling this out in my community. I'm going to see what people are thinking in there as well. And then probably later on down the line on YouTube, I can break this down a bit better and a bit more step by step with you. But alternatively, you guys just go and crack out and try and build something like this. It's a great idea. Let me know how you get on. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new, that old cliche, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.